When it comes to the key issues that affect us as Americans, what do Kamala Harris and Donald Trump stand on it? I'm talking about abortion, inflation, international crises, aka Ukraine and Gaza, crime, and Social Security. Things that really keep coming up every time I post a video. Somebody brings up one of these issues. Let's see where do Kamala Harris and Trump stand on these key issues. Let's see where they stand on these key issues. When it comes to abortion, Donald Trump has previously championed being the person that has put the structure in place to overturn Roe v. Wade. He notoriously claims that most of the country really wanted it overturned, but polls will show differently. Now he talks about being the guy that put the structure in place to allow states to make the choice on it, whatever that means for you. Kamala Harris has been in lockstep with the Biden administration this whole entire time, wanting to protect the right to abortion on the federal level. When it comes to inflation, Donald Trump's plan to address inflation is drill, baby, drill. When you really look at the market for oil, and if we were to tap into the oil market internationally, globally, we don't have enough oil to become a super producer. So what that will leave us with is a abundance of a product that is not in great demand all the time. Inflation. He's also floated the idea of increasing the tariffs on international goods to drive domestic production. Now I'm not an opponent of increasing domestic production on products, but I am concerned about the increase on tariffs because I understand that increasing tariffs will decrease the supply that is sent to the United States, and that will inadvertently lead to more inflation. So I'm not a fan of that part of the plan, but I am a fan of the, increasing domestic production. When it comes to Kamala Harris has, let me just say it like this. A lot of people talk good about Trump and those $1,200 COVID checks, but they forget about the American Rescue Plan that Kamala Harris and the Biden administration put in place, and they gave y'all $1,400 checks. So yes, don't forget about Kamala giving y'all $1,400 checks. She gave y'all $1,400 checks. If y'all want to give Trump credit for $1,200 checks, you got to give Kamala credit for $1,400 checks. So I don't see how you can give him credit for $1,200 checks and not want to give her credit for $1,400 checks. I don't know. But we also forget about the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act that put some policies and structure in place to where inflation has been reduced from 9% in 2022 to 3% in 2024. So no matter how you feel about her personally, you got to recognize that a policy that was put in place to do something got the intended result. All right. So when it comes to international crises, let's start with the war in Ukraine. Trump claims that he could end this war in one day. I'm not sure how. He hasn't provided any information on how, but I don't, hey, he says he can end it in one day. That's what he said. I don't know. On the other hand, Kamala Harris has supported the Biden administration's efforts to help Ukraine win this war against an invading force, which is Russia. I'm not a fan of the war personally. I'm not a fan of us engaging in international crises on this level when we still have domestic crises to deal with. So that's why I completely stand on all that. When it comes to the Gaza situation, Trump has famously or notoriously said, we'll just have to see it play out. Yeah, he said the war play out, whatever that means to you. It really shows a level of indifference to the death that is going on in Gaza, but that's just my own personal opinion. Kamala Harris, she stood with the pro-Palestine people in the past and tried to get, an amicable resolution to this whole crisis. I know those are going to say or pull up her comments toward the pro-Palestine crowd at her campaign event. So yes, Kamala Harris called for the end to the conflict. I think we could best gauge how that Gaza situation will play out by Netanyahu's most recent visit to the United States. Kamala Harris had a very pointed meeting with him, trying to get him to agree to a ceasefire, basically wanting to say, hey, you got to stop this. And Trump gave him a closed door meeting where he's basically like, hey, come on, buddy, let's go to Mar-a-Lago and, just shoot some golf. So yeah, when it comes to the issue of crime, we see Trump wants to issue basically a war on the homeless, turn homelessness camps into basically encampment, excuse me. He wants to give police more authority and unquestioned immunity in any situation. That just seems like an epic failure to me. I'm not against the police. I understand that we do need the police in our communities, but there has to be some checks and balances. When people overstep or step wrong, there needs to be some type of accountability to be had. And if Trump is talking about wiping out accountability, I'm not with it. He's also talking about sending the federal prosecutors and the National Guard into communities, to basically supplement the police force there. I don't know about you, but I don't want to see armored personnel carriers rolling down the street here. I don't want to see that. Now, when it comes to Social Security, this one, a lot of us, it may not affect right now. Some of you watching this is going to affect you now, but this is something that all of us, no matter whether we're being affected by it now or later, should be concerned with, because this is the safety net that's been in place since been pimping. Quite honestly, Trump wants to cut Social Security. If you look at any of the GOP led initiatives in any given state, you will see initiatives towards cutting and gutting Social Security. On the other hand, Kamala Harris wants to expand Social Security and protect it and shore it up, and even has a plan to strengthen it and make sure it grows. That's the key part. A policy that strengthens Social Security and grows it is something that we have not seen. I think that speaks to the progressiveness that is inside of Kamala Harris inherently. So those are five key issues that I think impact us as Americans the most. So I wanted to make this video to show you guys where Kamala Harris and Donald Trump stood on those key issues. Let me know in the comments what you feel about them, how you think about it. Peace.